show and talk nutrition to me with Kelly Springer. Kelly, how are you doing? And I want to, you love these times because you never know who I'm going to book on your show.
That's why I love this. I love meeting people. I am a true extrovert, and anytime I can share the word of what we do and get their word out as well, it's a good time. So that's really what this podcast is. And we are truly excited to meet Brad Martineau, the CEO of Gneuton and Amazon bestselling author with deep legal and business experience. Definitely the AI space. And I know Neil is super jazzed to talk about AI. We are too. It's coming into our health space faster than we can say, right? So definitely welcome, Brad, to our podcast. And thank you for coming on today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you are working with AI.
Thanks, Neil and Kelly. It's great to be here with you guys today. I started working with AI a couple of years back in great depth when I got enlisted by a good friend, Eddie Edwards, of all people, Neil, that we had on here a few years ago. And he asked if I would help him consult on a company that's now Gneuton for a gentleman that has a technology that's able to purify all the dirty water at every oil and gas site and essentially turn oil wells all across the globe into freshwater wells, utilizing the technology and infrastructure that's already on place at the site. So it's carbon neutral. It's freshwater positive. It's a great thing. But we also realized as we were going through our research and development and the processes that these gas turbine powered power plants in the AI space are a perfect fit for us as well, as these are now popping up all over, including Ohio. Neil, Meta's building a huge one over there, Texas especially. They happen to also fall within the footprint of the oil and gas space. So it's been a super massively sustainable and scalable formula for us because we're going to take our system, plug right into the gas turbines that are already being built by the AI data centers and purify millions and millions of gallons of fresh water that was otherwise dirty. Wow. So we had to learn from the beginning. We thought we had to build out our own infrastructure. So I had to learn from architects all around the world how to build out an AI data center, as well as wanting to know the tools that AI can obviously provide for our own company. In the meantime, I wrote the book, The AI-Enabled Executive, over the wintertime. And little did I know when our co-founder or founder, Tom Joseph, and our technology officer who came up with this process, when we were in DC sitting out there, it shot straight up to Amazon #1. So it was a cool experience, something that was on the side. In the meantime, I've been asked by a lot of folks to come speak. I've been speaking all around the United States. I was in New York a few weeks ago. I was in Pittsburgh keynoting the Data Ops conference last week and on a panel at the AI Annual Manufacturers Consortium down there with MIST, and been able to do a bunch of podcasts, just like I'm speaking with you guys today. So I'm really excited to engage, but that's the background where we're at. Really excited about what we can do for the fresh water in the world, because we're not just talking United States, we're talking overseas as well, because our global patent carries.
I love it. This is Brad. This is a little different than when we talked last.
Isn't it? A lot's changed in a couple of years.
A lot of changes in me too. I was just podcasting. Now I'm a full digital agency, and I also just we're hitting the road, a road show. But Kelly, what are your thoughts on this? This is intriguing stuff.
AI is intriguing. And I think it can definitely help us on so many levels. But I think we also need real people like you that go out and speak about what you're doing and how you're doing it. So a person needs to represent AI. Just recently, a local physician, I'm just sending people to AI for nutrition advice. I'm like,
oh no.
That can be a little bit scary because I always, when I'm talking, and in my book as well, I truly believe AI needs to be an enhancer, not a replacement. It should be something that you use as a tool to make you that much more productive, that much more knowledgeable about what's out there, but don't let it be the end all be all, because it can also hallucinate, make things up, provide bad advice. And if the expert isn't in the loop on that, then that can be dangerous in situations.
I agree. So I think with what you're doing is amazing for freshwater. I'm very fortunate to live in central New York, where we have beautiful Skinny Atlas Lake that we pulled from for Syracuse. But Brett, I was actually down in your area. I went to school at WVU.
No, excellent.
And Kelly, I remember hearing that one. Go Pitt. This is a big game this weekend.
It was. It's going to be a good big game.
Pitt's going to win. But I don't know. I wouldn't lay odds on this one. You know why, Kelly? Because Pitt on the road, even if they're a favorite, they're not winning. This is a Pitt fans learn group of being disappointed so much.
Right.
To win.
It's interesting, but I was down in your neck of the woods for 4 years, and great, beautiful location there. But what you're doing in bringing fresh water is an international problem, and amazing what you can do.
It really is. In fact, Tom's initial mission when he got into this, he's a NASA scientist by trade. Worked for NASA, saved them $15 million out of the gate in thermodynamics on side of things. and then decided that he was going to get into the private sector, and he got swept up by the oil and gas industry because he was able to purify 800 to 1,000 barrels of fresh water a day at 42 gallons a barrel. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not in the industry. So they said, you need to go back to the drawing board. And after doing that for 14, 15 years on a smaller scale, come back and do it when you can do 150 to 250,000 barrels a day, which is millions and millions of gallons. So he did. He went back to the drawing board and figured out the jet engine and gas turbine engine was the perfect solution to this. And it just happens so at the perfect timing with AI coming on. The billions and billions of dollars of infrastructure that would need to be to do this is now being built. And while AI is being looked at as a negative because it's taking so much electricity and fresh water, it's actually going to turn into freshwater sources.
Wow. See, this is something that I would not know, Brad, but tell us a little bit about the book in a way of what it relates to. Who's your ideal audience?
My ideal audience is executives and leaders out there that are folks that have been in the industry for a while that maybe are a little bit afraid of AI. They might be afraid in the sense they might think it's scientific. You got to be a digital data scientist to be able to understand it, or that it's come and gone in a couple winters before, so maybe it's not going to be here tomorrow. So why do I take the risk today? I think it's different this time around. The computing power is out there. NVIDIA and AMD have really, and now Elon Musk has jumped into the game with Samsung, have really gotten behind it. And with this huge build out, it's only going to get better. And if you're a leader, I think my whole theme throughout the book and talking is you really need to embrace it. You need to embrace it, keep an open eye as to what it can do for you and really enhance you as a leader. Not only yourself, but your entire team when you do. But be cautious. And there's always a cautious side because you guys may have seen MIT just came out with an article that 95% of companies that have tried to adopt AI have failed.
Yeah, it's not. So I did not know that article. Wow.
I did not know that either.
Then send that article to me. That's where I'm going to be working forever, Kelly, because honestly, I'm the AI whisperer. And Brad, I'll tell you more about that as I look at all the large language models. I'm sure you might have more knowledge than me. I'm an AI aficionado, as I also am a health aficionado. But guess what? I don't take my advice from ChatGPT for either of them. So I will go and ask some of my other top sources, experts in the industry like yourself in AI and Kelly when it comes to health, how I need to be healthy. And the two amazing things we need to embrace is our health, Kelly, and I want you to and AI. If we don't embrace those two things, we're not going to survive this whole and live the longest life we need.
AI has had the biggest impact, I feel, on the healthcare industry. Meaning it's because now, instead of having to read through 38,000 different white papers, AI can summarize it and cross the lines and find the intersections, find the commonalities, find the distinguishing points, and make the leap to the next logical step. It's powerful. And we're already seeing it from the standpoint of these new technologies that are coming through in the healthcare industry for solutions that have been otherwise moving along slowly. Right now, there's 9 or 10 different cancer cures out there because we're now able to flip our switches. It's able to read the DNA in our dark matter now that it's been able to find. It's on the imaging side of things, it's really powerful because it's able to see anomalies that the human eye can't detect and pick up. And obviously, the sooner that you can realize something's wrong from a healthcare standpoint, the easier it is to hopefully be able to fix it. So it is having a huge impact on that. And while, Neil, I appreciate you don't want to rely on it, definitely don't. But it's a great third party sitting at the table to and utilize that. Always look to the source. Always ask it where it's getting the information and why. Put your eyes on it.
I don't want to tell myself an expert because there's no such thing as an AI expert. And that's my honest truth.
We're all learning.
We're all learning. And Dr. Muhammad talked about this. He says, Neil, you are an AI expert. He owns an automation company called Art that does automation for AI. And he's got it, and he's building off software out in Mauritius, the island of Mauritius out in Africa. And he gives me all the knowledge all the time. But the problem is that you can't call yourself an expert unless you've been in this industry 10, 15, 20 years. I can call myself a podcast expert. Kelly can call herself a dietitian expert because she's been in the industry forever. Brad, you can call yourself, you have also an educational background as well, and as a teacher, so you can see all these different things and play in place, and that's different than saying I'm an expert in something that's only been around 2.5 years. Because there's so much more development to go.
And it's hard to be an expert in something that's rapidly changing. So as we're sitting here today, I'm telling you, there's 5 technologies that are coming out that weren't as when we first started the podcast. It's happening so quickly. When anybody can now vibe code and create anything.
I know.
We just talk into it with plain language or English, and we can create an app that would otherwise have costed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to have data scientists sitting there coding forever. Powerful tool.
So Brad, I didn't see the article from MIT. What why is it not successful? And what happened or what's going on that it's
That's a great question, Kelly. In fact, I've been trying to write one article a week myself on AI just to try to keep up on, and that was the topic this week, and is 95% of the companies that have failed according to MIT, and then why? And the 5% that have succeeded, what have they done? It really comes down to, in my opinion, educating your team so they adopt it and embrace it. It has to go beyond the pilot stage of it. A lot of these are failing in the pilot stage because they're expecting immediate 100% returns, and they're not seeing that. You have to take it 2 steps back like anything else, put the proper governance structure in. And a lot of these companies are rushing thinking that AI is a buzzword. We got to go get it. We got to go do it now. And by rushing into it, a lot of these safety protocols that need to be put in place to make sure you're meeting the regulations that are out there, which is a patchwork in and of itself going on right now, that your organizational structure itself has a human in the loop to make sure that, again, we're not letting it run autonomously and that biasness or errors are going to happen. So these are the things that have to be put in place. Those are the 3 major things. There's other things I address in my article as well, but you have to, if you take it a couple steps back, and it's going to be an investment for companies to take a couple steps back to make sure that they make their teams AI literate, AI fluent. So they're all eyes and ears on board to look for opportunities within the company where the true bottlenecks are. Instead of trying to find something that's going to be this crazy complex, I always recommend starting with something that's the easiest, smallest bottleneck in your company that you can see the biggest wow.
This is my thoughts on this, Brad, that the multiple thoughts, not just one. First point, and then I'm going to get to Kelly, because Kelly has implemented AI in her business and she's had consultants and work with people. I have done it all myself, learning all myself, because I believe here's what worked yesterday, 2 days ago on ChatGPT does not work today. This is the problem we were dealing with. And if you do open source, will work as well as the large language model will give us. Once that large language model fails and say it's going to cost you more money to produce and things like that, company's going to cut certain rules. For example, I use Descript all the time for podcast captions. It is not as good and as fast as it was 2 months ago or 3 months ago because the volume has gotten larger and whatever AI they're paying for is getting more expensive. The GPUs are the biggest thing that's keeping why voice AI, conversational AI has gone downhill, Brad. Go into the GPUs. And that's why the data centers, that's why I'm so interested, because I want to be involved in data centers. So I'm glad I know you, Brad.
No, absolutely. And you raise a lot of good points, which raises one more quick point that I wanted to address to Kelly's point was a lot of these companies are finding that they're trying to buy into these plug and play type applications that are being sold. So trying to fit a square peg into a circle hole doesn't always necessarily meet your company's needs. And there are great programmers out there that can customize and meet your needs. And it all begins with the data. So if you don't have clean data and you want well-organized data and you don't have the data points that you need that are going to be absolutely instrumental in getting you the information you need in real time, then everything falls apart from there. But moving on to the GPUs, yes, absolutely. That's why you're seeing Meta just announced this week $600 million investments in 2 major gas turbine powered, which we're happy to hear, power plants, one up here, I believe in Ohio, and the other one down south. Stargate, for example, that's a $500 billion project going on in Abilene, Texas, back in your old stomping grounds. And that's Elon Musk, that is OpenAI, Sam Altman, Oracle, and Crusoe, which is one of our competitors, or was one of our competitors on the oil and gas well sites, purifying wells, that they've moved on to the data world. So we're actually trying to reach out to them through a mutual connection right now to let them know, by the way, instead of you guys having to use 350 million gallons of fresh water a day to cool and provide water for these power plants, we can close that loop and actually create a new source by cleaning all the oil and gas water down there as well.
But just even having this conversation, the amount of knowledge I just gained, because I didn't know anything that you just said, just so you know. And that was all brand new information for me as a listener on this podcast. I'm blown. I didn't know you needed that much water. I didn't know that's how the technology works. I understand it because I understand manufacturing, but I guess I didn't realize the connection between AI and having to have that infrastructure.
Yes.
And I never thought of the fresh water piece.
Right. No. The electricity piece we're hearing and we're seeing in our bills, right? So we're already seeing that our electricity prices going up.
And that means AI is going to become more and more expensive too.
More and more expensive.
Why, if you purchase something not from teaching people to implement the current programs that are out there, OpenAI, you don't go directly to the source, you're going to get screwed at the end of the day.
It's exactly it. So because of they're putting a big push on creating these new power plants. There's one here in our backyard, the largest one announced, $15 billion, brand new power plant coming online, gas turbine. That's going to be providing new electric source for the data centers. They're going to have a data center component, but also to the grid. So there is a capitalistic effect happening right now where they are building out the electricity side. What hasn't been addressed because it's always had to be done through desalination or reverse osmosis, which are both electricity-based processes to clean the water. Ours is not. We use the heat from the gas turbines to purify it in a distilled fashion. Therefore, our process does not cause electricity prices to rise up. It's completely carbon neutral, and we're using the infrastructure that's already in place. So it's truly powerful, and we're going to take one of the biggest negatives in the AI industry out of the equation. In fact, it's going to become a positive because we're going to turn these into a solution for the oil and gas industry too, to get rid of their produced water, which right now they're just shoving down hole. Over in Ohio, Neil, they're shoving it down hole 2.5 miles. Texas, they're notorious for shoving it down, and those holes are filling up. We can only do so much of that, but now we can actually take that dirty brine water that's 4 to 6 times as salty as the ocean and create a brand new freshwater source.
I love it. Brad, where's the best place people can purchase your book and learn more about you?
They can find my book on Amazon. All the proceeds I donate to charity, and just trying to bring awareness for AI. And they can also find our company, Gneuton, at gneuton.com. It's been a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me today, guys.
So, Brad, are you still doing the other business as well?
We are. Yep. We still have a staffing industry.
What is that business? How can people find that?
Yep. They can find us at COF Staffing, circleofstaffing.com.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Brad. And go to kellyschoice.org, and then also go to Amazon to purchase the new Weight Loss Era. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That was the cast of the Neil Haley Show and Talk Nutrition to Me, guys. Take care.